Hey, how's it going, everyone? So what am I working on now? Well, I got a Lexus hybrid. Not a Hyundai, Lexus hybrid. It's an ES300, basically a Camry hybrid. What year is this thing? It's a 2015. And what are we doing? We're just going to change the oil. Nothing spectacular. So let me go get some gloves on before I do this. Because yesterday, I'm going to make sure I wear gloves, because yesterday I decided what would be more fun than smashing the daylights out of my pinky finger. So I'm going to put a Band-Aid back on that and put some gloves on because I don't want to get oil in it just in case. And we're going to go from there. Okay, so we're all gloved up. Now, what's the first thing I always do? Take the oil cap off. Take it off. I always stick it here at the hood latch. I've had people comment and saying, "Oh, I wonder how many people smash their oil caps." I don't know. Who's that dumb to forget about it? But people do. So at least if you leave it here, normally people will remember. Plus, the little bit of oil that has a tendency to drip off of that lubes the latch. Bonus with purchase. I always pull the dipstick out a little bit, give a general look over just to see what things look like. Everything looks good. So let's put it up in the air. Okay, so now we're up in the air. Once you're up in the air, take a visual of everything underneath the vehicle. And, just give a quick look-see, see if you see anything out of the ordinary, see if you see anything damaged. Look for any leaks, like there's the bottom of the radiator. Look to see if you see anything leaking. See any drip marks anywhere? No, I don't see anything. Everything's dry as a bone. Looks good. These are the electrical wiring for the hybrid batteries. These are high current wires. So, they're all protected. Well, not really protected. They're just covered by these plastic shields. So, yeah, technically they're protected. But, like I said, I always give just a quick visual, see if I see anything out of the ordinary. I've caught leaking calipers before by looking like this. But I don't see anything. Look at tire wear. Look at the exhaust system. Is it rotted out, ready to fall off? Has it got any broken hangers? Look at that. That's what I always look at. So give a quick visual, and 14 millimeter for this. Now also, Toyotas use this weird looking oil filter housing. If you don't have the right tool for it, go buy it. I'll put a link in the description, but they're not expensive. Just have it on hand. I don't do an incredible amount of Toyota oil changes, but you know what? It's better to have the tool than to try to rig something up around that. All right, so we got our drain bucket underneath it. It's a 14 millimeter. Like I've always said, never break them free with the gear wrench side. Take a drain plug out. Let it drain. All right, hopefully you can see everything there. So now while that's draining, what I'll usually do is I'll go and I'll check all the tire pressures. Make sure all the tire pressures are set. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so now let's go check tire pressures. I apologize if you hear a hissing on this. It's because the air fitting to the gauge here has a tendency to leak. Too much air. There we go. All right, so basically you get the idea. I'm going to do all four. Let's just do that. No need to watch the entire thing. I'm just putting air in tires. All right, so here's one of the special tools. I'm going to explain something about this tool in a little bit because there's two different ones. Now, I usually will leave the drain plug out, and especially if you have a canister style, this is called a canister style filter. Especially if you have a canister style filter up top that's facing downward, you want to leave the drain plug out. You want to take the filter off first when you're doing this, because what will happen is it'll hold oil up top. So now we're going to put this in place like such, and then break it free. Now you can, I'll explain in a minute. There is a drain for this thing. I usually never use them. I usually never disturb them. Because if you ask me, it just creates a nightmare. tool's not coming off easy, so we're just gonna let the tool get all oily. Whoops, just like that. All right, so just like that. Letting the oil drip off the filter. Take the filter element out. Hopefully you can see that. All right, let me take this out of here. Let me wipe up with some rags, and I'm going to show you something. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is this. There's two different cups. This is for the 4 and 6 cylinder. This is for the 6 and 8 cylinder. Here's the thing. The 4 and 6 cylinder, as far as I know, fits all of them. The 8 cylinder fits all of them. It's got these little notches that can go around and help grab different pieces. But like, I'm not sure if there's other models out there where this wouldn't work, where you can't interchange them. I'm not sure. I've never run into a situation. I usually just use this one, but I think I did run into a situation where I had to use this one. I don't know. I don't recall. I think it was a kit when I bought it. I don't remember. But I'll put. I know other people make this other than Blue Point, so I'll put a link in the description for it. So whenever you're doing one of these filters, make sure you change the O-ring. Wipe this thing down with a clean rag, just like such. Just wipe it down, get it clean. You want to make sure that you got no debris or anything in here. Here's the new filter. And oh, that's what I wanted to explain to you. This thing. In case you guys open one of these up and you're like, what in the world is that for? That's an actual drain right there. And what happens is you take that out and it'll drain the filter out. I never bother disturbing it because it just, to me, it's a pain in the neck. So hopefully you caught everything. Hopefully I was on camera with everything. So now, oh, that's what that other O-ring is for too, so don't even worry about that other O-ring. So there, make sure you get the O-ring down where it's supposed to be seated, like such. Put the new filter in, like such. There's a little bit of oil that's on your hands, on your gloves. Let's get it all over the O-ring. Now let's install this. And let's see. Oh, if that lighting is not great, but you get the general idea. And you notice this whole time I've had the drain plug itself out. So start screwing it in by hand, and you get to that point where you can actually feel, like right there, I could feel the O-ring slipping by. So now it starts to get a little tight. Now, in doing so, we're going to put the cup back on there. Just wiping out some of the debris that's inside of it. So now, just easily tightening it up. And the O-ring is just slipping past. The O-ring is creating a seal. So the seal is already made. So now, there, it just stopped. Stop! Don't go any further. You don't have to go nuts and tighten it down. There's no reason for it. Unreasonable is what I'm trying to say. All right, so now, the drain plug. Let's put the drain plug in. You see it's still dripping. Inspect your drain plug gasket. Let me back away a little bit. Inspect your drain plug gasket, and it is perfectly fine. And if you notice, I don't know if you can see it from there, the tool is still stuck on there, so I got to get that off there. All right, so now, take your wrench, tighten up your drain plug there. Like, it just came to a stop there. I'm not putting any pressure on it. And then just go a little bit more. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to put your body weight into it. You know, put a foot up on a frame rail and tighten it. You don't have to do any of that. Not necessary. So now let's get the tool off of here. Sometimes the tool gets stuck, that's fine. Just putting it in the drain pan, let it drip off. So now, what I'm going to do is just wipe it down. completely, and I'm going to get brake clean, hit it with brake clean. So let me go do that. Hang on a second. All right, trusty brake clean. Just like to make it as nice as possible. And then just wipe that off. You don't have to go crazy because it dries pretty quick. You can actually see the brake clean evaporating before your eyes. All right. So that's good. I'm happy with that. Let's let it down. You can see Kirk in the background possibly. All right, coming down. Okay, what we got here, and this is pretty neat. Kirk has this kit. It's a funnel kit. I've never used it before, but I've seen him use it, and I asked him if I could borrow it. So I'm going to take this, should be this blue adapter here, and it should screw right in here. And you screw that down. My hands are a little oily, so. Screw that down, and then the funnel kit is in just like that. Pretty neat. Okay, I like that. I had never used one of these kits before. A little bit of mess there. Hang on one second. Sorry for the noise there. So now, just pour it in. You notice a difference, believe it or not, some people don't realize it, but you notice the difference in pouring it this way versus pouring it this way. Pour it this way, you get glugs. You pour it this way, it comes out smooth. Because the air enters the bottle smoothly. This thing should hold this entire 5 quarts, just like that. All right. Now I'm going to let that drip off for a minute, and then we're going to take that kit out. All right, so now that that's dripped off, hopefully, we can actually use the funnel to unscrew the other piece. You can probably put it together the same way. And then just take the blue cap off and put it away. All right, that's a neat kit. I'm sold on it. I'm gonna have to buy one myself. Put your oil cap back on. Then let's start it up and check the oil. All right, so we're inside. My foot's on the brake because that's how you have to start these things. And, okay, it's running. Or I should say, it's in run mode, but the motor never started. You gotta wait for the motor to start in order to, there it goes, just started. In order to let the oil circulate and, you know, be able to recheck it. Now it's funny, the maintenance required light is on, but I could have swore I reset it. That maintenance required. So let's go over to here. There's a dongle here. Let me just see. Let's go menu. I think it's in setup. Oh, you hear it just shut off. Vehicle. Maintenance. Yeah. See, I had reset these. See, they're in blue. So I wonder why it says maintenance required there. I'm going to actually have to look into that because I'm curious. Let's see, service? No. Okay, I'm not really sure, to be totally honest with you. Because those items that were there, see we didn't rotate the tires, that was not part of the service today, but oil filter and engine oil was in red before, so I went in and I reset it. Now this being a hybrid, you can go 10,000 miles because you got to remember something. Most hybrids, the engine is running only half the time you're driving the car. Because right now, I mean, the engine's not running. So you can go to 10,000 miles on a hybrid. That's the only vehicle I can say, do that. My mom has a hybrid, and usually we change the oil between 6,000 and 7,000 miles on hers. But she does an awful lot of highway driving. Highway driving and hybrids, hybrids do better in the city than they do the highway. Not to say they're not efficient on either, on the highway, but I'm just saying. Let me look into that maintenance required. I'm really curious if there's something else I got to reset that I don't know about. Let me look into it. Okay, so there was no way for me to push the odometer button and push the start button twice. Basically, you don't hold your foot on the brake. You hit the start button twice. You have it in trip A also, but you press the odometer button, hold it, press the start button twice to put it into run mode, even though you're not pressing the brake, so it never goes into run mode. And then what happens is the cluster lights up, and you can actually see the odometer turn to all dashes, and then the dashes keep flashing and then slowly disappear. Once it disappears, it goes to all zero, then it's good. So I couldn't show that, but that's what happened. All right, so let's check the oil. Wipe off any residual oil drips that you got all over the vehicle. Wipe them off. So wipe the stick off. Take it back in. And we are perfect, right at the full line. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, right at the full mark. So we're perfect. All right, so that's it. All right, so basically I'm just gonna pull it outside, put a lube sticker on it, and give it back to the customer. All right, hopefully getting something out of my videos. If you are, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, guys, have a great day. Keep wrenching. And I will put a link in the description to that funnel kit once I find it.